Alrighty, chat. Oh my god, my voice. So, so, remember how I said this was gonna be a short and sweet video? I forgore. I kind of blended everything together. So I think this will be the only tier list. Because I kind of just covered everything in one. Dude, I'm sorry. Once I start talking about this stuff, I just can't really stop myself. I covered pretty much everything here. Like I covered fun aspect, I covered bossing, I covered mobbing, I covered classes, like across class barriers, like warriors and mages and whatnot. So I think that'll be a pretty good catch-all for the tier list. What do you guys think? Also, chat, which was the surprising one for you? I'm very curious. Who was placed in a spot you were absolutely unexpected to see? Do Explorer mages use decent speed and fusion? If you're using attack speed 0 and gold or in green pot, yes. Jet being S. Alright, as a jet main, I know you're biased. I think Jet deserves to be in S tier. I really do. As far as Hurricanes classes go, as far as non-KMS classes go, Jet is pretty much the best one. Oh, hey, Laura's still on screen. Let's movie magic her away. Mechanic, dude. All of the resistance classes, all of them, they got fucking robbed. And until Nexon sets the record straight, I'm not letting them go on that. They did the resistance classes fucking dirty by not giving them the revamps they needed. Every last one of them, all of them needed revamps, even just minor revamps for some of them. And they got shafted because the Korean players baby raged about Dawn Warrior, which, shocker, ended up being the most overpowered class they've ever revamped. It's downright disgusting that they just dropped the idea of revamping the most memed on class branch in this game's history. Apparently, the Korean devs just like the circus stance, staying the circus stance. DA got fucking robbed? Did it? Dude, I don't know. Did DA get robbed? It's in the good with minor buffs category. Like I said, it could easily be S tier with quality of life. So I don't think I placed it lower than it needed to be. Next time, make graph integers like x-axis 1 mobbing, 2 bossing, 3 playability, and then y-axis a flat training. Oh my god, dude. That's a good idea, but that's like too 5-head for me. I'm pushing 30 here, dude. I can barely tie my shoelaces in the morning. You cleared dark now? Congrats, Nova. I joined forces with the Reddit boycott and become one with anti-Sacrix. Dude, I knew I was gonna ruffle some jimmies. I do think Xenon is better than C tier, but because it's so unbelievably unfriendly to new players, I really can't place it higher. Especially since the people who watch these tier list videos are newer players. They're inexperienced players. They don't know all of the pitfalls that these classes have, so I can't in good faith put Xenon higher than C tier. Because there are some big fucking pitfalls for this class. It's good, it's really fun, but there's so many things that could go wrong for a new player that could sour their experience or push them off of the game entirely because of Xenon. Pathfinder should be S tier. I don't agree. Like, Pathfinder is just too one note for me, and it's not very strong right now either. It's kind of on the weaker end, to be honest. It depends. They could do quite a bit of justice for it for for its 5th V and bump it up to S tier, but unless it's a pretty significant 5th V, I don't think it'll go beyond A. Maybe it'll jump to the top of A instead of the lower half, but Pathfinder is pretty set where it is. Blaze Wizard's like bottom 5 for damage. For solo damage, yeah, Blaze Wizard's not the strongest class in the universe, but it does bring a lot to the table for party bossing as well. And it's gotten so much better since its revamp in Ignition that it's just a lot better than it used to be. Surprise Bowmaster is at S considering Platter doesn't work sometimes. I mean, Platter's bug is very, very situational. Platter only struggles with mobs that have small hitboxes, which can be easily avoided because a lot of the higher level areas have larger hitboxes, besides like Cernium and Burnium, but I don't think there are any standout mobs there that are too short. Platter's main problem for me was how fucking awful it is to place down, how unreliable it is. Down Warrior gives the same buffs while being top 3 damage. I mean, that's fair, but we can't be comparing the outlier overpowered class to the good classes. It'd be like comparing Peekadil to Beast Tamer. Of course Beast Tamer's gonna look like dog shit when you put it up against that Giga Jacked class. Is the Mana Spiral key out or in Savior? It's in Savior, unfortunately. We still got a little bit of waiting before that comes out. Even Battle Mage does more damage. I mean, Battle Mage does more damage because of attack speed 0, which is fair. I do think I slided Battle Mage a little harder than I should have, but I'm fairly confident with where I placed it. It is one of the classes that definitely deserves a lot of love. But I don't know. I think Blaze Wizard deserves to be where it is. Maybe not as high, maybe below Dual Blade, but I still think it's A tier. I don't think I would ever put Blaze Wizard lower than A tier. Because you gotta think about it. A tier, like, we have SS tier. Them's the overpowered classes. Let's just exclude them. Then we have S tier. These are the great classes. They do everything well. Then there's A tier. They do everything good. And then B tier, they start to fall off. C tier, getting pretty bad. And then D tier is atrocious. So it's like, for that ranking, I think Blaze Wizard's right where she needs to be. Or minor buffs. I could see putting Blaze Wizard in the minor buffs category. Kinesis should be higher because Yuna X Kinesis is cute. True though. Fire Poison not on SS tier. The only reason Fire Poison isn't SS tier is because of how giga fucking overpowered Bishop is right now. I'm not even kidding. Bishop is so omega cracked. It is actively pushing every other mage down. Aside from Ilium and Evan when played perfectly, Bishop just brings too much to the table right now. Is the tier list getting uploaded to YouTube? Yeah, it'll be uploaded after I'm done streaming. Well, I'll have to clip it and then, throw it up, but hopefully Spectrum stays strong. Best thief? The highest rated thief on my tier list is Ho Young, which I don't think many people would argue. Ho Young is very, very good. There's nothing that Ho Young does poorly. Much like every support in any MMO, they should be SSS. I mean, there's some merit to that, right? Like, nobody wants to be the support or the healer bot when it comes to MMOs, so they make them more overpowered to make players play them, but Bishop isn't a heal bot. Have you seen Bishop since its revamp? This class is fucking overpowered. Even after the Infinity nerfs, Bishop's damage output for solo bossing is way too good. There's no way I could have put it anywhere but the very top of SS. You'd put Shadower SS tier? I think I like Shadower. I can see it being SS tier, but I think the fact that it's reboot meta and it's super, super OP at Meso farming because of its Meso passive, I think that's clouding its ranking for you. It's like, I don't really care about the class's Meso rates. Otherwise, yeah, it would definitely be SS tier, top of SS tier for me. As far as like overall class though, Shadower is very solid S tier. It's at the very top. It's on the precipice for getting into SS, but I don't think it's quite SS yet. It's not overpowered at everything. Would I recommend a damage buff or a support buff for Paladin? Dude, Paladin's hard too because like Paladin players really love the class, and I can see why they do. It does bring quite a bit of support to the table, but I think it needs to actually do damage as well. The fact that you need to link up with somebody to get the maximum damage out of one of your 5th job skills is pretty bad. There needs to be an option for it to do its full damage for solo play. It also needs a 5th job skill that actually packs a punch off burst as well. It's like Grand Cross feels really nice, but once Grand Cross is down, your damage output is severely handicapped. I don't know how to compare Kaiser to other classes. How do you compare need buffed classes with lettered classes? The need buffed classes are some that are in a rank either far below or just below where they should be with minor buffs. Whereas like ranked classes, even if they got minor buffs, aren't going to change too much. Like you could double the damage numbers on Phantom and it would probably still be around B tier because everything is so low already. Without a main mobbing skill of its own to let it branch out to just grab solely buffs from the explorers, Phantom's kind of just pigeonholed into being a worse version of an explorer class for the most part, outside of bossing. Would you change the most for non-frenzied spawn mobbing? Change the most? Its damage uptime is insane. Yeah, Phantom, that's the thing. That's why I said Phantom is always in the first clear for bossing. Phantom does have really good damage uptime. I should have said that in the video too, because I was thinking about it while I was saying the bossing clears. Phantom's damage uptime is very good. Its damage lines are very small though, and those small damage lines give it problems in other aspects, mainly its mobbing. It's kind of got blaster syndrome. Once you get into Grandis areas, unless you're Omega funded, Phantom's struggling. What would I change about non-frenzied mobbing for KMS? Honestly, the only thing I would change is just make vac pets a pet skill. I don't think there are really any major problems with base spawn mobbing. Almost every class has good maps, they have good flow, every class has good rotations. Besides Blaster. It's just the looting aspect of mobbing on base spawn is pretty atrocious in higher level areas. Moonbridge, most notably. Moonbridge through Limina were pretty much intentionally designed to be nearly unlootable without a vac pet. And that's pretty bad. It has gotten better. Like the Grandis areas are significantly better for looting without vac pets, but it's still notably better to have vac pets than to not. So is Kaiser a B or an A or an S in its current form? In its current form? Very bottom of A. Very bottom of A. Barely out of B. Its bossing is just. It's too weak for bossing. It doesn't have proper dedicated burst. It has okay DPS. It has okay skills. None of them feel bad to use, but it doesn't pack enough of a punch compared to any of the other warriors. Can confirm MF6 training on your Mihail is awkward to loot. Yeah. What should I 17 star my Abso gloves or finish 17 starring your CRA top? If you're using Mesas, CRA is cheaper. You could probably get it to 17 and then start working on getting like 15 on the Abso gloves. But ice lightning is cooler than fire poison? Pun intended? Question mark. I mean, yeah, I like fire poison more than ice lightning. Kind of biased in that respect, but just like Cannon Master coming out of Destiny, I don't think ice lightning got enough love to get it any higher than A tier. Alright, here, I'll bring it back. Were there anything else on this list that you guys didn't agree with? Wait, where did my OBS go? OBS mod check? Oh, I actually pulled this away. There we go. Was there anything else that you guys just vehemently disagreed with or were surprised by? Xenon Monk and Gun, Nopers, Jet Trash, Mihail pretty low. I don't know, dude. I think Mihail is like it is one Royal Guard nerf away from being A tier. And that's what I'm worried about. I don't think it's any secret that Royal Guard is turbo broken. I don't think Korea's that blind. What's in D? The only class that was in D tier, the only class was Wild Hunter. That was the only class that was in D tier. I should have just named it the Wild Hunter tier, but that would have gave it away too early. What did I give Battle Mage? I think it was C tier because of the consistent nerfs it's been getting and the fact that it didn't get a revamp that it desperately needed to stay modern. Why Nightlord greater than Nightwalker? Consistency, my dear Watson. Nightwalker is more beginner friendly because it has higher base damage, but its mobbing is so much markedly more inconsistent. Your bats having to bounce between targets, especially on base spawn, is way, way worse than having marks that heat seek onto their target. Not to mention, your bats are more restricted because of the marks that they added to Showdown. You don't need your toggle marks to be one shotting anymore. You really don't. You don't even need them to two shot anymore. Nightlord is so much more competent of a mobber with low funding than it was pre-Destiny that I don't really think it's below Nightwalker. As far as bossing goes, they're pretty much identical. Nightwalker has more hits per second, but their damage is fairly close. Nightlord's more burst oriented, Nightwalker has longer bursts, but they end up doing nearly the same damage. Just Nightwalker has an iframe. Ice Lightning really dropped to A. It's not that Ice Lightning dropped to A, it's that everything else went up around Ice Lightning. Here, let me open up, or let me bring my Twitch chat over to another monitor so I can see more of this. I think I've been missing stuff. I thought Pally would at least be on par with Dark Knight. I really want Paladin to be higher, but in its current state, it just isn't. Like it's on par beginner friendly wise with Dark Knight, but Dark Knight just brings so much more damage to the table with low funding. And they both suck at mobbing, unfortunately. They do. How come you put Laura as an SS tier? Didn't you say it requires a lot of cooldown watching? Laura is not a cooldown watching class, no. A cooldown watching class is more like Hayato, where you have a bunch of skills that are on low cooldowns that you need to cycle constantly while you're mobbing. Laura isn't cooldown watching, Laura is just an active mobber. Laura being SS tier is pretty much predicated on the fact that she's been getting all of the buffs and bug fixes that she's needed since her release. Like, I'm not kidding. 80% of the things I complained about for Laura at the end of her training guide all have been fixed. Almost every problem I've had with this class has been fixed. Its damage has been increased for bossing. Its burst has been made better. Its mobbing is still the best in the game and doesn't show any signs of slowing. And it's gotten better as a support as well. Its support skills are still ping dependent, which fucking sucks. But Laura's absolutely in a fantastic spot. Ice Lightning was already amazing. Destiny just brought Fire Poison and Bishop to Ice Lightning level. Yeah, that's pretty much why Ice Lightning is lower than the other two. The other two just got more love and attention. They got more buffs. You surprised at Mercedes and SS because of funding, skill gap, spamming keys, and squishiness? To be fair, I only played to level 222 before Ignition. like I don't really think there is a skill gap for Mercedes. Like I don't know, maybe Mercedes just clicked with me faster than other people, but this is not a hard class. There are not that many complex combos. The most complex combo you have is coptering, and there are very few situations where you need to copter anymore. With the removal of the height requirement for Leaf Tornado, Mercedes rotations have opened up to a lot more degenerate farming rotations. Like if you've seen any of the training rotations for Mercedes in Odium, this class is disgusting on how little effort it requires to clear some of these ridiculously good maps now. Like the removal of the height requirement for Mercedes has taken all of the mobbing problems out. And then for bossing, it's just good. It has a decent iframe. It has very, very unsung bossing burst, and it doesn't require a ton of funding. Like all you need to do is learn how to weave stunning strikes in between all of your skills, and boom, your damage output is pretty much doubled. The biggest thing for me is seeing Mercedes actually use Ishtar's ring. There is almost no situation where you should be using Ishtar's ring. Like literally, if you're not comboing on Mercedes for bossing, you are hamstringing your damage so bad. The only time you should be using Ishtars is if you literally can't get close enough to the boss to hit them with combos. But because your combos are such long range, there's almost no situation where that happens. Mercedes is very node slot hungry. Sort of. Sort of, but not really. Like for mobbing, you just need Leaf Tornado. That's it. You don't really need Elemental Knights boosted because they're not a key part of your mobbing. You need Leaf Tornado and you need Urda Shower, and then your 5th job skills. That's it for mobbing. For bossing, sure, if you're going for like minimum funding Lomian without wanting to train the class, yeah, you'll be struggling for V Matrix slots, but I don't know. You don't need every single skill boosted. There are combos that use all of your skills like aerial and moonsault. There are rotations for both of them, but you don't need to use both of them. You could just choose one of them and drop nodes for the other. So it's not nearly as bad as something like Xenon or Evan, where it's actually just constant struggling for space. Don't care to learn combos, just spam doll skills. Yeah, there's a lot of damage being left on the cutting room floor if you're not comboing with a Mercedes. Pure stars is bad without combo stacks. Dude, I don't know. I would say even when your stuff's on cooldown, you should still be comboing. There's really not a reason not to combo. Use this charts for moments you need to weave in between stuff like pap clocks. Yeah, that's about the only time when you cannot safely combo is the only time you shouldn't be comboing for Mercedes. Xenon gets better at 285. Unironically though, yeah. Once you have every V Matrix slot open to you, goddamn, Xenon is a very fun class to play. I will not doubt that. Where would you put Blaster with changes coming? What were the Blaster changes? Do you remember off the top of your head? I don't, unfortunately. Bishop or Demon Slayer for your next Hyper Burden summer? You really can't go wrong with either of them. Unless they remove attack speed 0, Demon Slayer is going to be very, very strong. Any tier list for next patch? This will pretty much be the tier list going through Savior. There are a couple classes that are getting significant changes in Savior, but not enough of them that it's going to make a major shakeup on the tier list. This is fairly future proofed. Revolving cannon becomes automatic and some numerical buffs. Revolving cannon really wasn't the issue though. Was it? No. Revolving cannon isn't the issue. Like no reload canceling isn't that hard. Sure, there's a barrier to entry, but once you have the muscle memory down, It wasn't that bad. It wasn't as good as it should have been compared to like Shotgun Punch. The problem for Blaster for me is purely its mobbing. Blaster's bossing is already good. I guess they're making it easier to be good at bossing, which is fine, but that doesn't really help it. It needs mobbing love. Like, Blaster has nothing going for it in the mobbing department. The fact that you have to be no reload canceling and weaving your skills while skating to even get comparable kill rates to other classes is not good. It isn't. It's the Thunderbreaker problem all over again. It's way too high APM for not enough reward. Blaster's also hard to die in bosses with shields. Yeah, Blaster is definitely a class that has benefited from being super aggressive, which is good. Just like Cadena, you want to stay on top of the boss as long as possible. Why Bowmaster greater than Marksman? It's a mixture of being more beginner friendly as well as just being a bit stronger at most breakpoints in the game. Like for the Arcane River, you really don't need to be too funded anymore. You get a lot of your damage just from your Arcane Force passive, as well as just like cycling guild skills, MVPs. You get a bunch of buffs from those. You're not really going to be struggling to mob with Bowmaster. The only thing that's particularly weak for Bowmaster is Arrow Platter. And even then, with your fifth job skills, it's not really an issue. Urda Shower alone is already enough to bring it up to being a very, very good mobber. So it's like for the early game, Bowmaster is really on even keel with Marksman. Marksman only takes a significant lead for mobbing when you get into Grandis, where you actually need to be funded to get good kill rates. Marksman is head and shoulders above. But for every other part of the game, Bowmaster just kinda has her number. They do relatively the same damage for bossing. Bowmaster's just safer at it. Bowmaster's also significantly simpler too. Being a hurricane class that literally only has buffing V skills, you can't really go wrong. Especially since these tier lists are more geared towards newer players who don't have very much experience. The more beginner friendly a class is, the higher it's usually going to rate. That's not to say Marksman isn't beginner friendly. It's a very straightforward class. I just think Bowmaster is so much more beginner friendly being a Hurricane class. You literally just hold down Hurricane for bossing and you're good to go. Speaking of Blaster, what skill I have to put on auto? On auto? No, we don't have the savior buffs. Revolving cannon becomes automatic in savior. Watched almost the whole ranking stream part, but I'm still confused. What do you think would be better for someone trying to get back into the game as a casual player in Bara? Quite the beginner, only got to 210 at max with one class a few years ago. Realistically, anything outside of this bottom bracket. If you think the class is cool, play it. There aren't really any bad choices. This bottom bracket here are the only ones I would actively advise you against playing. And Thunderbreaker. Everything else on here is a solid choice. The best thing you can do in this game is to pick a class that you like to play, or that you like the aesthetic of. Picking something because it's strong is usually not a good idea. If you want something that's on the stronger end, pick from the SS or the S tiers. But everything above the very bottom row is very valid as a class you can main. There are not that many classes that are bad. I know Mega Dude made a joke early on, like, why is C and D or even a tier? I don't think there are that many bad classes in this game. They have done a fantastic job of raising everything up to the point where there isn't that much of a disparity between the top and the bottom. The middle is very fleshed out right now. There are very few bad choices to play. The revamps did a stellar job of catching everything that was a problem back up, which is why there's resistance classes down here, because they got scammed of their revamp. Can't see because of the chat. Oh, the very bottom is just Kinesis, Battle Mage, Wild Hunter, Kana, Beast Tamer, and Thunderbreaker. Thunderbreaker is really up here, but I wouldn't recommend Thunderbreaker. No bad classes, then get Xenon the fuck out of there. All right, we'll get it out of C tier. We'll put it down to D tier. You're welcome. I aim to please. Uploading this on YouTube later? Yeah, this will be going up on YouTube. I don't know if I'll include this like post tier list section. I might. If you wait, here, do you guys think this little talk here at the end is worth putting into the video? I think the tier list discussion enough is probably good. It's long as fuck. So I don't know how many people are actually gonna make it to the end. Yes, include it. Okay. Besides like Kana and Beast Tamer, every class is viable IMO. Some are better than others. Yeah. There's always going to be outlier classes. Like there's always gonna be an Adele or a Ho Young class. There's always gonna be something that's just really, really fucking good, and there's always gonna be something that's really, really fucking bad. But everything in between being so close together is very, very good for the game. Make two separate videos? I kinda like that idea. Like a postscript for the tier list. I think I'll do that instead. I'll put the tier list as its own video, so it's just concisely focused on the tier list, and then I'll have a postscript video. That's this after section, going more in depth into your guys' questions. Beast Tamer Bird is fun though and easy. Yeah, that's what I tried to hit on for Beast Tamer. It has gotten some developments that go in its favor, but on a whole, Beast Tamer is still just bad. Kinesis is good, it just needs another PP generator. That's literally all I want. Like, if KMS gave us an attacking fifth, I'm gonna lose it. Yeah, I kind of hit on that here too. Like, Kinesis is in desperate need of another psychic point generator, or in desperate need of a reduction in psychic point costs across the board. Tier list video and tier list FAQ video. You can post it as part 1 and part 2. I think I'll just do it as like a postscript. Because if people see a 2-hour video and it's like tier list part 1, it'll probably scare them off. I think this being over 2 hours is probably going to scare off new players already. Next rating most uwu character. Wait, do you mean like my cosmetics or just like from their art here? Like to see a highly recommended and do not play class tier list? I mean, that's kind of what this is. Everything from A and above, I would recommend. Besides Hayata, Hayata is on the ass end for a reason. Everything like B and down are classes that, unless you know what you're getting into, I wouldn't really recommend. Some of these are definitely out of place as well. Like I could definitely move a bunch of these icons around in their specific groupings, but just being in their grouping is kind of what mattered the most. A few of them I placed in the right spots where they should be. But it's like I could definitely see a Ron being ahead of AB and Nightwalker with its more recent buffs. I could see Bowmaster maybe being lower on this behind Mihail because Royal Guard is super jacked right now. Fire Poison goes up a bit. Maybe Jet goes down, but I'm not going to accept the Jet propaganda. But for the most part, everything's in the section it should be in my eyes. You could recommend try them all like you did. Yeah, I mean, ideally, you want to try every class. Ideally, you want to try every class. But there are 49 fucking classes in this game, and a lot of them require their 5th job skills for you to get a proper feel for how the classes play, and people don't have time for that. Like, unless you really like training mules, or unless you're at the point where you already have a main character and you're just leveling them for your legion, no new player is going to try every single class. That's kind of the reason tier lists exist. They're here to give you like a quick crash course. Quick. They're here to give you a crash course on like where all the classes fall in comparison to each other. Like, I don't expect new players to even get through a tenth of the classes in this game. Most people pick one or two classes and they stick with them. Is Bishop SS as his DPS or as a support? Both. Bishop is overpowered. There's the reason it's at the very top. It is the most overpowered class in the game right now. Wait, Adele is below Wind Archer? How strong is Wind Archer? I don't think it belongs there, no. I was just shuffling it around to show that I could move them around. I don't think it's that high. I think Mercedes is honestly just slightly better than Wind Archer currently. Adele is still Adele. I would probably put Adele above Hero, not gonna lie. Hero's really good at mobbing right now, but I still think Adele is Adele. It's like Kana is still Kana with mobbing. Adele is still Adele. You can nerf it all you want, but Adele is still Adele. What do you think mechanic needs to be higher ranked besides the changes coming? It needs more damage. Like, they need to do to mechanic what they did to Shade with Bomb Punch and just add normal monster damage to all of its summons. Hell, add normal monster damage to its stacking passive. The amount of damage you need to bridge between Limina and Grandis areas for mechanic as a summon based mobber are fucking hurdles. When you have classes like Corsair and Cannon Master who just easily breeze into Grandis areas because their summons all actually bring good damage numbers, mechanic is just severely lacking in that department. Like, honestly, normal monster damage on pretty much every summon for mechanic would probably jump it to just below S tier. I love mechanic. It's weak. It's also a very good support. I didn't hit on that when I was talking about mechanic. It does bring quite a bit to the table. With its healing summon, it is very, very solid. It brings final damage and continual healing. That's not as impactful for us since we have healing familiars, but it is insanely valuable for KMS. Are there actually new players coming into MapleStory? All the time, actually. Like, from the start of COVID until now, there has been like a second renaissance for MapleStory. We're never going to hit the same highs as we did pre-Big Bang because there's a lot more competition out there. But as far as like MMO player base goes, for MapleStory, we're in an upswing. We have like 200,000 to 300,000 consistent yearly players, albeit a good portion of those are just seasonal players, but that's fine. We have a good player base. And with a good player base means new players are eventually going to come in. The problem is retaining those new players. There are constantly people who try MapleStory, get overwhelmed, or just don't find something they like right out the gates and quit. And that's what these tier lists are for. To give people a little pressure coming into the game to see what they're doing. Because if someone's first experience with MapleStory is Beast Tamer, do you really think that player is going to stay with MapleStory? No. Meanwhile, if they play something like Dawn Warrior or Adele, these really flashy, cool, fun to play classes that are at the top of these lists, they'll probably stick around a little bit longer, give the game more of a chance. This tier list uses the ugly explorer art you. Yeah. It's like, this is the best thing I could do. This was the only one that had every class besides Laura. The rest of them had like other stupid icons down here, and I didn't feel like screenshotting every single icon to make my own. Sorry, I'm lazy. Copper Sand just made another video saying you should do Legion, for example. You should do Legion, absolutely. Legion and Link skills are invaluable, but expecting a new player to play all of these classes and be like, all right, this is for the greater good later on. They don't know if they want the later on yet. If they haven't found something that they at least like when they first start, it's very unlikely that they're going to invest in Links and Legion. First impressions are everything, and unfortunately for MapleStory, we have 49 classes. There's a good chance people's first impressions aren't going to be the class they end up liking. And if they pick something that's bad, it might be enough of a bad first impression that they just go play something else. Lazy probably isn't the word I'd use to describe you. I have my moments. Like there are some things I'm lazy with, some things I put an unnecessary amount of effort into. Like I just spent over 2 hours on a tier list. Probably could have shrunk this down, been a bit more concise, but you know. New challenge, you get to level 275 starting from the bottom. No, fuck that, dude. Start from Beast Tamer, then go con on Wild Hunter Battle Mage? No. Nah, Chief. That would be torture. Alright, were there any more questions you guys had? Or any more placements you were curious about or don't agree with? That you want further explanation on? Never doing Lotus Freeze is lazy? Exactly. That's where I'm lazy. I did it 7 times in Reboot. I'm not gonna do it in Bear until I absolutely need to. Why is Arc so low? Arc is just lacking off burst. This class is all all flash and little substance right now. Arc on burst is great. 10 out of 10. Arc off burst is very bad. Like really bad. As far as mobbing goes, I think Arc is fine. It's definitely not the best mobber in the game, but on base spawn, it is one of the more unique ones, and it's still really good. Best breakfast food? Dude, I'm kind of partial to pancakes. What explorers are easy to level to 200? Pretty much all of them. After the Destiny revamps, there aren't really any bad explorers. I think Paladin's the worst of them, but if you're just getting him to 200, even Paladin is good. Am I crazy? I don't see Paladin? He's right down here in C tier. Here, I'll move Xenon up again where it should be. Why is Paladin solo? He doesn't bring anything to the table that the other two Explorer Warriors do. And he just doesn't really do enough damage. Like he has good support, but he's nowhere near as good a support as anyone above him. He has okay damage, but he's way too weak if he's supposed to be a damage dealer instead of a support. He just his only thing he brings to the table really is a very good debuff with good uptime and sacro. That's it. But as a new player, that's not enough. It feels bad to play. I don't know. This might just be me, but I do not like how Paladin plays. Its mobbing is so dysfunctional. When you have Blessed Hammers running, you pretty much stop using your main mobbing skill if you're in the lower level areas. The only time you'll use it is once you're in Grandis or if you're struggling to one-shot with your Blessed Hammers. Mjolnir, super unreliable as a thrown skill. It's either insanely good or it does absolutely fucking nothing. There's really no in-between for it. It also doesn't have very good uptime. If Mjolnir got either more charges and faster charge time or the option to just switch it to a toggle so it would just like auto throw Mjolnir while you're mobbing, it could help it feel better. But like stopping your mobbing to throw Mjolnir when you can't reliably trust that Mjolnir is going to benefit you doesn't feel good. I know many people who started with Laura because they thought she was cute. That's a good reason to start with the character, dude. Picking something cute is good. If they like something about a class, that's good. Even if it's surface level like that, just like, hey, Phantom's got a cool fucking hat, I'll play Phantom. It's not the best class, but if they have something about it they like, they should try it. I thought you said the other day that Hero is greater than Demon Slayer? Did I? I don't remember saying that. Oh no, my reasoning for putting Demon Slayer above Hero is because Demon Slayer is so middle of the pack for KMS, it is insanely unlikely that it'll ever get nerfed. Hero, on the other hand, is a very good class in KMS. it is quite likely that it might get a nerf. Does Dawn Warrior seriously only need one trio? Yes. Dawn Warrior is one of the most popular classes in the game right now for a very good reason. You played Dark to 210 on reboot and then decided to switch to Paladin. Little did I know I had to quit the game after. I mean, if you like Paladin, play Paladin. Like this tier list shouldn't tell you like, oh, my class is low on this list, I shouldn't play it. I would still fully play Kaiser. I want to play more of Kane. There are just some things that put them lower on this board than anyone else. Legitimately, if your class is not in this very bottom row, you haven't made a mistake. And even that bottom row, if you know what you're getting into, they're fully playable. Dawn Warrior is the class of all time. It almost is. Like, Kana will soon, if this keeps up, Kana might get dethroned as the most played class of all time by Dawn Warrior. Do I think Dawn Warrior will get nerfed? No, dude, Dawn Warrior's getting buffed! It's so dumb. Demon Slayer's popularity in Korea is one of the lowest. They never nerf it. Yeah. And like just like with Hero, a lot of Demon Slayer's power is in attack speed 0. The only thing that will change Demon Slayer's ranking is if they remove attack speed 0 for GMS. This class probably will not get nerfed. If anything, it's only going to get more and more buffs. And with more buffs, if they don't remove attack speed 0, it's just going to keep climbing the SS tier. Explanation for Evan's placement, it is getting significant buffs in the future for its damage output, as well as it's been getting nonstop quality of life for its bossing, which was its most strenuous part before. You no longer need to be a professional Evan to get your full burst out anymore. So long as you know how to set the burst up, you're getting full damage out of it. You don't have to be as absolutely button mashy on Evan to get optimal damage out anymore. And its mobbing is still one of the most relaxed in the game once you know what you're doing. Like with the addition of Erda's Shower, you only need 2 combo skills plus return, and you can full clear just about any map that you want to be on for Evan. Not to mention it has such a high skill ceiling because of the versatility of the class. Being a more challenging class to master definitely gets you higher on a tier list in my eyes. That's why Cadena Blaster and Evan are so high. Blaster's down here, unfortunately, because Blaster's mobbing sucks dick. Do you think we'll see more Dawn Warriors than Adele's? Yes, 100%. 100%. Like, release Adele was disgusting. Release Adele was very disgusting, but Dawn Warrior is like towed the line on disgusting since its release, and it's still getting better. It hasn't quite gone too far that it's going to get knee-jerk nerfed. Evan Burst is top 5. Yeah, Evan's Burst is very, very good. Evan's consistent damage off Burst is also quite good. Dawn Warrior is just an easier to play Adele. You're not wrong. I mean, there's not really that much difficulty to Adele either, but yeah, Dawn Warrior is very straightforward. I don't think any Dawn Warrior player would tell you the class is hard to play. There's not much challenge to Dawn Warrior. It's just really, really good. And it's quite fun. Adele's hard to plan fast movement on. Adele is mostly high maintenance, yeah. Yeah, your movement being reliant on a skill combo rather than a single skill press makes it feel a lot more delayed. When you could literally just press a button and instantly dash like half a screen on Dawn Warrior, needing to combo 2 slow skills together to do the same thing for Adele feels a lot clunkier. Not so much that it's bad, but it is notably less smooth. Think mobbing on all the archers are boring except Mercedes. That's fair. Mercedes has more options to be creative. Well, have you tried Wind Archer since the revamp? Wind Archer is very, very fun to mob with. Where's the haste plus reward? I don't know. I think it's a bug for the final reward chest. But apparently some people are seeing it even after they claim it, so it might just be a bug entirely. Not seeing a ton of Dawn Warrior post 250 and Moonbridge so far. That's just because Ignition was so recent. Like, honestly, give it half a year, and Dawn Warrior's player base is probably going to dwarf most other classes. A lot of the Dawn Warrior players are still actively leveling. Like, not everyone is like Oreo and hopped on the train right before Ignition. They're not all going to be in the 280s this early after Ignition ends. People don't train that hard. Your average player is not me or Oreo. Give it time. As long as Dawn Warrior doesn't get like substantial nerfs, they'll constantly keep climbing the player base or the player charts. Do I think they'll buff BT and Jet? Do I think they will? No. Do I think they should? Yes. I think they should just honestly go back to the drawing board with Beast Tamer. There's so many bugs with this class, it's unreal. Like they could keep the animal aesthetic, just don't make it a toggle. Let you use all animals at once. What's this, Oreo? Fucking 97%! Slow down, sir. Slow down. Beast would be amazing if the buffs carried over with changing. Yeah. Like the best Beast Tamer ever was before they fixed passive stacking. And even then, it was lower middle of the pack. So the best Beast Tamer has ever been is still not above the halfway point, and they giga nerfed it from there. So I don't know. I don't think Beast Tamer will ever be of good class. I just want it to be playable. Give Beast Tamer all the SP needed to max their skills. Yeah, like they could get rid of a lot of worthless skills in Beast Tamer if they just got rid of individual forms and made it a class that uses all the animals instead. There's a lot of useless skills that just are there to eat skill points. Your main Cadena combo is bugged, so your bossing is scuffed, and it seems like a non-KMS bug. Uh-oh. Alrighty, chat. Any more questions about the tier list, about specific placements, or about my reasonings? Otherwise, I'll put a pin in this. It is getting late. Why is D tier empty? There you go. Yes, why is hero not number one? We've already discussed that, sir. Reasoning for Battle Mage got here late. It's gotten consistent nerfs because of it actually being used. It was one of the classes similar to Wild Hunter and to Mechanic that kind of desperately needed the Resistance revamp and then got shafted because Korean players baby raged about Dawn Warrior's revamp. So it didn't get any of the changes it needed to bring it back up to modernity, and then it's just consistently getting nerfed at everything it's doing well. It's fun to play, but it's nowhere near as smooth as anything above it that's actually gotten reworks. And it doesn't seem like they're gonna buff it anytime soon either. Where's Jet? S tier. Where did Laura go? She didn't have an icon for the tier list, so I had to movie magic her in with with OBS. That's where she is. Alrighty, chat. My voice is going. So that'll be it for me tonight. Who is alive out there in the Maple Story universe that I can send you guys off to? Ooh, best class Dawn Warrior. Matt's training. He's already 266. Alrighty, chat. I will send you guys off to Matt for the rest of the night. Go show